3, 2, 1.
What happens when you take a man who's a comedian?
A wife who isn't, but should be. I know what you get. You get scattered noodles and lost marbles.
Alright, that's right. Scattered noodles and lost marbles. Welcome back to another episode. And what a better way to introduce the next comedian we're going to talk about on this episode. Nothing better than this right here.
The two most beautiful words in the world of comedy. Richard Pryor.
That's right, Richard Pryor. For those of you who are major fans of Richard Pryor, you'll know that came from the Here and Now album. Now, as we get ready to talk about him, he was born December 1st, 1940, passed away in December 10th, 2005, so at the age of 65. And this man had accomplished a lot during his lifetime, and we're trying to get to some of all, why not? Yeah, some of all. It's either some or it's all or nothing. All or nothing. What? No, not right now. Huh? No, what did I just say? You guys see I am trying to do something here? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm doing a podcast, alright? Now, you guys want to hold your staff meeting, you just hold it back until I'm done, okay? I figured it's always important. Something's always important. Yeah. I know what he said, alright? That's enough. Sorry, my brain's trying to hold a staff meeting while I'm in the middle of trying to do this, and it's not working, you know? You're just hearing the voices in my head. Oh, the voices in my head. No. But this is a man who he won a Primetime Emmy Award and 5 Grammys. Received the Kennedy, Senator Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. This is someone who took all styles of comedy, and kind of like put it into one. And I guess I really can't say all styles of comedy, but he was able to blend his audiences together. But when he first started off, he eventually was told by somebody that, hey, you're a fan of Bill Cosby's, but you are acting like Bill Cosby. You're not being Richard Pryor. You need to be yourself. Try and get that out there. And he said, okay, well, maybe I need to try something else. And because it started off with just, when he was doing it, just black audiences. Then when he tried something different, it went to all white audiences. And he wanted a way to be able to bring everybody together, and he eventually nailed it. Nailed it on the head and brought everybody together to have a good laugh under one roof. And to see someone do this, that just kind of grabs your heart regardless. But yeah, he was definitely a comic to not ignore. And when I say that, not because of his demeanor, I'm talking about you can't miss his voice. When you hear his voice, you know darn well who you're listening to. Now, while I'm thinking about this, most people have 3 names for themselves. They got the first, the middle, and last, and sometimes a 4th, whether it be a junior, the 3rd, or whatever. There's just at the most 4. Not this man. His parents were something else. Turn around, 6 names. That's right, 6. Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor Sr. Wow. Try putting that on a driver's license. Know what I mean? But, starting with his childhood, you stop and think about all the things that he had to witness when he was growing on up. His mom being a prostitute, his grandmother running a brothel, and it was just it was just so traumatic to be able to sit here and watch it. But as we all know, in turn, when we watch stuff as kids, you turn around, we always think it's normal to see this kind of stuff, and because of the way we're brought up, until you realize, okay, this ain't normal, this isn't how it's supposed to be, but you're traumatized with it for the rest of your life because you just can't get it out of your head. And for the accomplishments that he made and to be able to fight through that, it was something else. Granted, I know he had the drugs that helped him get through some of that stuff to kind of bury it, but that's all it does. It just hides it back in a closet till you're sober and everybody says, "Hey, I want out now." But when he turned around and was doing all these drugs, he would have like wild parties, and I got a wild party to tell you about because, as you know, I try to take the comedians and involve some of their stories with our stories. And when I say our stories, I mean that yes, you can leave a comment and tell me about something funny that happened with you that you heard a comedian do it as well. But and when I get to that episode, I can put it on out there. But make sure you hit like and subscribe here. Turn around to keep on going and tell your friends, family, whatever, your cat, your dog, your mouse, your ferret, whatever. But he would have these wild parties where sometimes it would go good, sometimes it always ended in, in a not good situation. He would have come on out, like during one party, he'd come on out with a pistol in each hand, turn around and telling everybody to get out. And to sit there and watch that, would you want to go back to that party? But yet some of his friends that knew what he was going through turned around and still returned. And, that's cool. It shows how much you support your friends. And it's friendship and family are very dear. So please do not try to jeopardize either one of them. But now the funny family story I got dealing with a party is that my wife and I, we were invited to a party about 15 minutes from where I live. And when we got there, my buddy had turned around and was sitting there. He poured me a Captain and Coke. Well, as time went on, he would pour more Captain in, not enough Coke. More Captain in, not enough Coke. More Captain in, and it was eventually nothing but Captain instead of Captain Coke. And I can tell you, I did pretty good, I think, for myself to be able to hold up through the evening because I felt like a superhero. I mean, I was holding up every wall to keep from caving in on my friends, okay? To turn around and be able to do that, I should have been recognized for that. But, nobody recognized it. But anyway, I got to a point where I needed to use the bathroom, man. I said, "Hey, where's your restroom at?" He turned around and he goes, "Well, it's down there, but your wife's in it." I'm like, "Great, you got another one?" He goes, "Yeah, in our bedroom." So I go in there. Now, this is something when you find out about your friends, all right, that you really got to watch out for because it might be that one little slight thing that makes you go, "What in the world am I looking at right now?" And as I went in there, I'm sitting there, the bed was so tall, I'm just kind of bent down over it, my head going along the mattress, and I'm looking down at the floor, trying to maintain balance since I can't hold up the walls no more. But I'm looking down and I see a bra and panties. How nice. Get around the end of the bed. Ooh, handcuffs, how kinky. Get around the other side. Ball gag and strap on. What in the world am I looking at here? Let me tell you, it may not sober you up, but it will make you well aware of your surroundings. I will tell you that much. But I stumbled across this sea of darkness through the room to the bathroom that was on the other side here, and I started to do my business. Well, lo and behold, my stomach said, "Hey, what in the world is that?" No, it's got, nope. Oh, guess what? 2 exits, no waiting. So as soon as I finished one side and cleaned up, flushed toilet, turned around, I was down on the other side. And so needless to say, when I was done and I came back on out, everybody knew I was done. I mean, I was speaking fluent drunkenese, crying out loud, I mean, I thought somebody else might be able to understand me, but my buddy had told my wife, whatever you do not let him roll the window down because it was wintertime. I mean, it was, it was freezing cold. But we got me, my wife, and the kids in the van. I'm sitting in the front passenger seat. And in the vehicle behind us was her cousin, his cousin's wife, her cousin's wife at the time, and her oldest boy. Well, as most people do, when you get hot, you roll the window down, then you roll it on up because you're too cold. And it was like this all the way home. And finally, it got to a point where we got like a mile away from our exit and along I-70. And I told my wife, you got to pull over now. Pull over now. So she pulls over down the side of the road of the interstate there, and of course her cousin pulls on over too. And next thing you know, they said it was the funniest sight you could ever see because I had one hand on one frame of the van, I had the other hand on the other frame, and next thing you know, I'm opening up my eyes, I'm laying in a snowdrift on the side of I-70. And they said it was just like if you were to take a book and throw it into a pile of dust and went poof. So when I open up my eyes, I'm like, what the hell am I doing on a snowdrift? And I could hear my wife laughing and the kids. I could hear her cousin going, we got to get him up out of this. And her oldest boy said that if he throws up, I'm going to lose it. So, but I couldn't help but laugh when I got on up because, I mean, why not? It's like, I passed on out right on the interstate. And I can tell you one thing, the salt consistency that they use in Kansas is nothing compared to a margarita at a Mexican restaurant. I'll tell you right now, right? Bottom line. But, and this is what I'm getting at with bringing Richard Pryor in this, is because he'd have a lot of fun with parties, and most people here, turn around, party, have a good time, and not all parties go fine, and that's okay, as long as you turn around, don't get too far crazy. But to do that, you just can't beat it. I mean, I wish I had, I'm a comedian, and I wish I had some of these talents that could bring everybody together. And part of me thinks I already do, but the other part of me says, hey, no, you got a long way to go. And, and that's cool. I mean, because I love to make people laugh. It's a high people that you cannot even come close to fathoming, all right? You turn around and you can just make someone laugh by giving them a, what did he just say, or what did she just say? Comment. I do not try to stop from making somebody laugh. I mean, because you never know. It might make their day. They might be bored out of their gourd. They might have been having a bad day. Just do something to make them go, what did you just say? Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be funny. And I do that all the time with people. And just give them that, what the fuck look, and just move on. You can tag it all you want, or you can turn around, sit there and just make the one-liner and walk off. And I can give you an example of one of those deals. And that was a friend of mine was hosting, oh my gosh, I just lost train of thought. Turn around, yeah, it comes and goes. That's what happens when you play Keystone Cops in your head. And these guys arguing, knock it off, about wanting to hold a staff meeting. You can wait till I'm done, all right? But I'll end up coming back to it. I know I'll remember what it was I wanted to say, but this man, when he making movies, he did it with Christopher Reeve or Superman. He did Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy, Brewster's Millions with John Candy, The Toy with Jackie Gleason, and of course the one comic duo that you just can't forget with Gene Wilder, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, The Stir Crazy. And everybody knows that if you saw a movie that had Richard Pryor in it, 9 times out of 10, you were laughing your butt off when you were done watching it. And heck, we all know that he was he loved supporting the military because he portrayed a general in Superman 3. I know he was, but that doesn't show his support. It just shows what character he had to play during it. But yeah, he was always into making somebody laugh one way or another. Some people would see him on the street and whatnot, or out in a public place, and they just sit there and, "Is that you?" And he'd make comments like, "Nope, I don't know who you're talking about." Just to make them think a while. Granted, you're in the presence of someone that did really good in his lifetime, regardless of his habits. And I won't support the habit deal, but the thing is that we all know that it was a part of his life. And if that's what it took for him to get through this, I'm not saying it was a good thing, but it helped him boost on out. Break that barrier that he was feeling, from all that stuff growing on up, to make people laugh. Because, like I said, it was a high. It's a medicine you're giving yourself. All right, to hear that person out in the audience laugh. Because I can tell you one thing, as a comedian, it's a lot of times we'll do stuff to make somebody laugh because it helps us forget what we're going through as well. And I look at it this way: if you can do that and come together, guess what? You're already halfway there. Beating whatever it is you're fighting. You got your own demons, and Lord knows I got mine, and I'm still trying to fight because I'm prior service, as you heard from Stacy. And like Stacy said on the last episode, is that to entertain those troops, to turn around and help them when they're deployed, to forget their things, what they're, not forget why they're there, but to forget a lot of the stress, to turn around, relax a little bit, have some fun. And that's what Stacy was getting at on our last episode dealing with Robin Williams. So, and one thing about Robin Williams, when he was overseas entertaining the troops, I forgot to mention this on the last one, is that the flag was getting ready to come down that day. And so when the music started playing, of course, all the soldiers turned towards the flag and saluted. And Robin Williams is looking at everybody like, "What's going on here? Did I do that bad or something?" And then somebody finally told him what the deal was. And he's like, "Well, I thought I was going to have to leave or something, And see, to have that, you made a comedian laugh over something serious that you had to do because you didn't know. So this is why I tell people all the time, do not pass that opportunity. Because if you do, you're missing out yourself. But back to Richard Pryor here. Let's see what else we can find about it. Oh yeah, he is, on a serious note though, he did serve in the military for a couple of years. But it was, but it says that he spent basically his whole entire stint in an army prison. Yeah. Gosh, can you picture that? You turn around here in for 2 years and you're spending most of it in prison? Yeah, okay, let's try and talk about this, all right? Because I can tell you one thing. If you did it to turn around and get out of your duty, you did it for the wrong reason, all right? But not saying go to prison's the right reason for anything, really. I mean, as far as when you're doing right. Now, when you're doing wrong, okay, knock yourself out. See you later. But at least we know he was making an attempt to turn around, serve his country, and that's cool. That is so awesome. But some of the friends he's made along the way, the influences he's had, Louis Gossett Jr., some people remember from Iron Eagle, and some other movies that were really awesome with him in it, was friends with him. And yeah, granted, people are going, well, yeah, you're naming a lot of famous people. Well, yeah, when you're in that lifestyle, it's pretty much going to come down to that. But stop and think about some of the comedians, or not so much even the comedians, the people that he met along the way. raised, some of the influences he's had. Was it Jackie Gleason was one of them, Charlie Chaplin, Red Skelton, Abbott Costello, Red Fox. I mean, we're talking Sanford and Son here, Woody Allen, Jack Benny, and Bob Hope. These were people of all different races, and these are the people that influence you. And it's like I said, it doesn't matter if you like that person or not. If you like what they said as far as a joke goes or a song, you like it for that reason. So if they get caught doing something, it's not all of a sudden, oh, well, I don't like that person no more. I turn around, I ain't listening to any of their songs. You're lying to yourself, because there was a song or there was something said that made you laugh, made you think about that stuff, and so that becomes a part of your morals and inside you. So you can't just say, okay, I don't like that person no more, so I'm not going to listen to their stuff. No, that's not true. You don't have to support what they did. You don't have to buy their stuff. But if you hear something of theirs, you just can't lie to yourself and say, well, I'm not doing it no more, because that's straight out ain't true. But yeah, he was married, 7 times to 5 different women. So he was on the way of being on out there as far as, okay, well, we're going to work stuff out. Not even, most of his marriages only lasted a couple of years. I think one of them was even a year. And one thing that people never talk about, and it's fine, everybody's got their own privacy and like to keep it to themselves, but one thing that was mentioned about Richard Pryor was the fact that he was actually a bisexual. Now, his daughter Rain denies this, and that's understandable. Being, your kid, you turn around, you don't want your parents being labeled as something. But his widow, the one he was married to when he passed away at the age of 65, she verified that yes, he was. Who was it? Oh my gosh, Marlon Brando. That was his lover that he had. They just, hey, that's their own business, that's theirs. But it's like she said, it was 70s, so drugs were still good back then, and not legal, but they were well known for being around people. So how can you sit there and say, okay, you did this, I don't like you. Let's say, all right, who did it? Huh? One of you guys just, oh my gosh, you need help. Can somebody bring me some spray, please? You stink. Oh my gosh, dude. Who? Oh, none of you want to admit it, huh? Oh, you going to blame me? Why are you blaming me? I didn't do it. I'm sitting here talking to these people here. No, you are not going to blame me. I refuse. Any takers? No? Well, how about I postpone that staff meeting then? How would you like that? Sorry, I just kind of went off a little bit on these guys because somebody stunk up this studio, and my goodness. When you're in nothing but like an 8x12 room, it's going to eventually take its toll on you. So it's like, I'm afraid to even drink my water here. Oh my gosh. Somebody needs some major help here. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there. Back to him. Oh my word. Now, where the heck was I at? Oh, I don't know. Like I said, sometimes it just goes here, there, turn around, doesn't merge into traffic. It just shoots clear across 3 lanes, and away you go. But I want you to stop and think about this. He also was an activist for, animal rights, and making sure things were done there. So he would do stuff for PETA. So I just wish people could understand that when you do things of this nature, you're gonna have fun somewhere. So just live the best that you can out of it, and that's pretty much about what you're gonna be cool at. Now, some people are wondering, was he buried? Was he cremated? Is this a hoax? No, it's not a hoax. And turn around, no, he was cremated, and his widow took his ashes to Hawaii and had his ashes scattered there, and the rest of the ashes were to his family members. Um, but he died from a coronary artery disease, and the doctors say that it was pretty much due to all his smoking. God, that's one reason I'm not a smoker. I mean, and if you are a smoker and you turn around, you're still making it. God bless you. I know I couldn't do it. I quit a long time ago, and I'm kind of glad I did. No, I can't say kind of glad. I am glad I did. It just tasted nasty. So people are like, yeah, well, it's not that easy to kick it. Well, you know what? It can be if you're willing to give it a shot. And to be able to get rid of it, hey, one, you're going to be saving a lot more money. Then you can put some more. But thing is, people are like, well, I only spend this much per week. No, when you stop and think about that now, multiply that into the year, and it eventually comes back to you, because now you turn around and got something else you can spend it on instead of that. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about personal bad habits. It's just that was one of the things that turned around and took him out when he had his fatal heart attack, and he had other ones too. One was down in Australia when he had to have a triple bypass. He had to get that done, and then what was it? Within a year, he turned around, he was back out and going again. So this is one of the things, like I explained on the last podcast about when I went through my cancer. You got something that can hold you down, make you depressed, and yet you turn around and you find a way to fight through that and just keep going. His main goal was to entertain. And most of us, that's what we like to do. I'll do karaoke. I'm going to go out and have fun with that. I don't care how I look. I'm out there to make somebody laugh or have a good time, whether I sound good or not. Hey, everybody's got their own opinion. Some people say, "Oh, that was good." Some people call, "I can't take the nails on the chalkboard no more." But he liked to entertain. He wanted to get back on out there and entertain people. And he did. He got on up and just kept on going. Now, there were rumors that go flying around saying that the reason he had stopped for a while is because he couldn't talk. No, he could talk just fine. He had, would have some good days and some bad days, just like we all do. And so it was debunked and that he couldn't talk no more. And to know that, this is one thing that drives me nuts. Unless you get it straight from the horse's mouth, why even spread something like that? So, just have respect for everybody else, for one another. But yeah, he's, oh my gosh. Yeah, here we go. This one, like during his films, this first one started back, like I said, when he did all the stand-up and whatnot. It was back in the late 60s, so he did Busybody. Now, he was actually shooting to try and be on an episode of Wild Wild West back then. And, I guess that kind of shows my age again, but that came out, way back when. But I don't think he ever did make it onto Wild Wild West, no. Duran just went on to star on a bunch of other good movies, the Muppet movie, The Wiz, Car Wash, working at the car wash, talking about the car wash, yeah. Oh, sorry. Stir Crazy, which is probably about what you just saw there. But 67 clear on up to 2007, that was just, in the films, the movies. TV went from, yeah, he did make the Wild Wild West in 1966. So there you go. He accomplished his goal. He just wanted to be, like I say, he wanted to be on an episode of it and go from there. But the Partridge Family, oh my gosh, no way. And some of you go, what the heck is the Partridge Family? Well, the Partridge Family was a family that, it was a TV show that were a family, they love to perform, make music. So to do that, to be on that kind of a show, even that shows you what wide variety of people he just loved to socialize with, to be mixed in with. It wasn't just this group or that group over there. It was everybody, and oh wow. Clearing up to 99 was with all, the TV shows. So he had a lot on his plate, and like I said, I don't support the drugs, but I can see why he was doing it, trying to keep himself sane. When you putting that much into it, each year, there's a couple of years where he had 2 movies or 2 shows going on. Not to mention his stand-up comedy that he was doing out on the road. Where didn't you find a time to sleep? In between flights. So, yeah, it's a tough life. And me, where I live at, it's hard for me to get on out. So my best bet is to try and get some of my comedy on out through here to you guys, talking about some of the family funny stories, integrated with the comedians that we talk about. And this one here I really enjoyed talking about. He was, listen, talk about going from your different parts of the country, from Peoria, Illinois, where he was born and raised, to Los Angeles, California, where he passed away at Encino. But I got a funny story to tell you here about what just happened to me and my wife the other day. We were coming back home from Manhattan, Kansas, and over near our town they had road construction going on that went to 1 lane. Now we're driving this orange Prius, bright orange Prius. You can't miss it. I mean, if I had on my one shirt, I turn around and would show you, hey, it was the same color, but anyway, a bright orange Prius. This car was like in a Chevy Traverse or something of that nature, a Ford Escape, something along those lines. She turned around, was coming up the left lane, and when the lane was ending, she was pushing into us. It was like, I mean, what the heck? I mean, I'm laying on a horn, but the horn, it's like who's going to hear that? I would like to put a set of train horns on there, because turn around between the rumble strips and the horn, this lady could not even hear us. I mean, because if it had been a bigger vehicle than a Prius, to turn around, I know we would have hit the sign and some cones, but we turn around, it was like, Now, if I'd had a set of train horns on this little Prius, I would have blown that horn, and I'd like to see the look on her face. I don't want to smell what was in her car, but I would have loved to see the look on her face when she realized that, oh, hey, I might hit someone. And to know that this loud train horn came from a little Prius, it was, my wife and I were just looking at each other like, how do you miss this? It's like, our hearts are pounding. It's like, well, I'm awake now. But yeah, it just, it kills me with the way some people are nowadays. It just fathoms the mind, It's like, how do you miss this? I mean, if you can't even see something that bright and orange, why are you driving that vehicle there? You can see apparently orange cones. You can see an orange sign. Why not an orange Prius? But this is why I say, you take some of the stuff that can be tragic, some things that be horrible, and try to laugh about it. And that was, my wife and I, we had talked about it for maybe another hour after, before we went to bed, and oh, excuse me, and that was funny because even she was like, "Wow." And she's the one who made the joke about the blah, 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 blah. So that's why I said our family is good at turning around taking bad things and making them funny. No matter if you're mad at the time or not, after you calm down and turn around, you realize what went on. Find the humor in it. You just can't shake it, all right? But as I always ask people to turn around, I'm going to be asking from now on, is like, Richard Pryor, what was the one thing that you liked about him? What was it that you didn't like about him? Is there something else that you would like to see or hear on Scattered Noodles and Lost Marbles? Yeah, granted, the introduction always mentions my wife, but she's the reason she is on there, or I have her on there mentioned, is the fact that that's what happens up in here. It's Scattered Noodles and Lost Marbles, because I'm trying to listen to her or, turn around and listen to other people. It's what makes me me, is the Scattered Noodles and the Lost Marbles. So, yeah, eventually she'll be on the show, but it's going to be, whenever she gets a chance to. But for the most part, it's probably going to be me. My buddy Stacy, as you heard to run on the last episode, he is going to be coming back. And I am hoping that his wife joins us when we go to do one of the comedians here. And then you can see what I was talking about in the last one about how tall she is and how short I am. So, but just remember, people, get on out there, make somebody laugh, do something crazy. I mean, at work, I will tell you this much. I will sit there and listen to a song, and I'll just start dancing on around. I might take a part and just go, oh, 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 oh. I'm the piano man. So it just... And it's funny because when I do this, I'll start dancing around. I'll look around and people are sitting there watching and just laughing. And this is what I'm talking about, because when everybody knows when you're at work, work can be so stressful that you turn around and you get frustrated. But when you see somebody acting up and carrying on, it'll put a smile on your face. Now, when I say this, I'm not tooting my own horn, because there's some other people there that make me laugh. And because they're just as crazy as I am. But to turn around knowing that, you turn around and made somebody laugh. I mean, the guy I work with, sometimes he's just, so there that he turn around, no smiling until I start acting crazy. And next thing you know, he's forgetting a lot of his stuff. So it just, you got to do it. It helps make life go a lot better. So enjoy the time you got here on Earth. But let me see what else I can find right quick about Richard Pryor before we close this out. But yeah, let me know, what did you like about him? What was your favorite movie? What was your favorite stand-up comedy album that he did? Because like I said, he had a bunch of them out there. But for me, my favorite will always be Richard Pryor, Here and Now. I revisited it, I guess you could say, the other day when it was playing on my music, and I knew right away when that introductor, that MC, sat there and said the two most beautiful words in the world of comedy. When I heard that, I knew the script right then and there, and I was citing it verbatim, and it felt good because it'd been a long time since I heard it, but this is how much it made an impression on me, is that I was able to memorize that album, for each thing that was going through. And so tell me, what was your favorite one? What was your least favorite one? either way you see it, you know something was funny about him, no matter where he was at. You know, and oh yeah, we also know about him. You know, we all know that he loves to ski. Watch that episode or that movie Superman 3. You will see him skiing. Now, granted, he wasn't a very good skier, landing in traffic in New York, but Metropolis. So yeah, it's something else. I just love watching him, and it breaks my heart to know some of the stuff that he went through in life. But you know, things happen to everybody, and not everything's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You know, the group that you don't like, or people, you know, person, whatever you don't like, they're not perfect either. So don't just sit there and paint yourself as being the perfect one, the best one, and whatnot. I'm better than they are. I'm better than they, you know, that group. You know, don't do that. Turn around, because how's that phrase go? Don't go throwing rocks when you live in a glass house yourself. So it's, you know, just don't do it. Turn around. You don't like them? Okay, you don't like them. Who cares? Move on. Maybe even turn around and try and bury the hatchet. You know, I've got a friend at work that turned around when I first started there. He didn't like me. I don't know why. I turned around and was always, you know, joking around, laughing around, and whatnot. Even tried being his friend, but you know, he would keep pushing back at me and, you know, putting me down. But eventually, he come around, and now him and I are good friends. So it's just something that you got to sit here and take into consideration. Now, like I said, I'm getting ready to close this out now. So what is it that you would like to hear different? What would you like to see different? What was your favorite thing about Richard Pryor? What was your least favorite thing about Richard Pryor? And if you don't know him, hey, or didn't know him, hey, that's fine, because I know there's some people that have never heard of some of these famous comedians going, but you know, they've seen a movie of them. So it's just like at work, I turn around, I had mentioned something about Joe Pesci, and somebody goes, "Who's that?" I said, "Well, have you seen Home Alone? Or no, have you seen Goodfellas? No. Have you seen Home Alone? Yeah. All right. The guy who got hit in the head with the paint can, all right? Oh, okay. So just because you might not know him by name, you might know him from a movie or an album or, you know, an interview, something. And so tell me, what was your favorite thing? What was your least favorite thing? What would you like to see different? What would you like to keep on here? And let's just try and keep this going, because the one thing I love, and like I said many, many, many times, is how much I love to make people laugh. And if one of your guys' things that you'd like to see a little different on each show is the fact of being able to see my eyeballs, well, how about I do this right quick? How's that? Can you see him now? Oh, you're probably going, no, not with the glare. Okay, how about this? There. Now you got to see the eyeballs. Yeah, I just love it. All right. So if you can help me keep this podcast going, tell your friends, tell your family. Like I said, it's just here to talk about comedians, to keep them going. I'm going, and I mean, I'm digging way deep in the bag for some of these comedians. We're talking like George Burns. We're talking Bob Hope. We're talking way back, Red Fox. So you can bet eventually on one of these episodes you will hear comedian. And if there's one that you would like to hear, you know, within the next episode or two, leave that comment. And I mean, don't leave a long list, because, you know, either way you see it, if it comes out to be a long list, I'm right where I'm at anyway right now with the long list of comedians I'm going to talk about. But there isn't much bad I can say about these comedians that I'll be talking about, because I love humor. And like Jeff Foxworthy said, I don't care too much for the word clean humor, dark humor, or whatever. And even though that stuff is out there, it comes down to the fact of one thing. Funny is funny. No matter what. I mean, this person got famous for their style. That person got famous for their style. They're known for doing this. They're known for doing that. This is going to happen. So, just like a song. If you turn around and don't like it, what do? Change the channel, turn it off. I mentioned that earlier in this episode. So, just stop and think about it for a while, okay? And have fun. With that being said, my name is SparkPlug. I will see you on the next episode. Sorry, wrong button.